there is only one Indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since today, and it is today and forever.
Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved homeland of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if the prize is that for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Hail to Biafra, consecrated nation. O fatherland, this be our solemn pledge. Defending this shall be a dedication. Spilling our blood we count a privilege. The waving standard which emboldens the free shall always be a flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets build the glorious song of victory. We scarred our minds around. Oh God, protect us from the hidden pitfall. Guide all our movement lest we go astray. Give us the strength to hear the humanist call, to give and not to count the cost each day. Bless those who rule to serve with resoluteness, to make this climb a land of righteousness.
There is only one Indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever.
Yes, so once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, people of conscience around the world, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio. Of course, it is being anchored by Diokpa Uchuka from Efo, who hails from Abatete in Anambra State, the man who has simply assured us from inception that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. This is one truth I do not expect everyone to understand the mindset behind it, but one day you shall. I must take time to acknowledge members of the de facto customary government. This is the embodiment of pro-Biafran group with different ideology, but who understand the implication of unification. And they are all doing great, and I appreciate them. Biafrans, thank you. I acknowledge members of the Biafra Nation Alliance. These are men and women across the globe who would have run away, but they stood their ground against evil and bloodied men. And they tell you we go nowhere. I also don't expect you to understand the mindset behind that. Acknowledge our brothers, indigenous people of Onandekano. We have not rejected them. They're still our brothers, but very misguided one. It's over 1 year now. You're on Facebook insulting your brother, insulting your father and your mother. You are looking for freedom, deceiving yourself. And I want to believe Chinas Angoru has deployed most of you on this platform. But I could only appeal to you to apply your heart to reasoning, because your time is winding up. We will know where you are standing in that last moment, when the truth will eventually break the camel back. Your atrocity is so high that it has gone up to heaven. But it is amazing you've been able to manage the whole situation. Even though you are angel of darkness, you pretend and manifest as angel of light. But heaven is bearing witness to your atrocity, and karma will surely do his work. So while you're doing what you're doing, I encourage you, take a little bit back, step backward, and then reevaluate your position. You will be able to see how hopeless you have been in the past. But that notwithstanding, we continue to encourage you, we continue to advise you, we continue to point you to the right way, because in the end, we are all going home. Acknowledge men and women of conscience, those who sympathize with us, those who are not part of this movement, but your prayers are with us. I also pray for those of you who are confused, because in normal circumstances, if you are not properly informed, you are bound to be confused with all the hulu balu initiated by Nandekano, who pretend to be looking for a freedom. But I will stop there, and I give the ultimate appreciation to the Creator, the one who made the heavens and the earth, who has set our feet upon this path that we must follow. He alone is God, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. And so the Father in heaven, I thank you. You who made the heavens and the earth, you who know the end from the beginning, you who have set our feet upon this path that we must follow, you who is our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you who is our guide in matter both great and small, the very lifting up of our head, I worship you. And of course, without wasting further time, we go to our topic this evening, which is simply titled Visiting the Foundation of Our Ordeal. Visiting the foundation of our ordeal. Or should I have said revisiting the foundation of our ordeal? But whatever the case may be, it is important we understand that every problem have a foundation. And in most cases, when situation become too tough, too complicated, there is need for you to go back at the initial process and have a review. For almost 6 decades of unpleasant and prolonged experience under domination and control by means of brute military force, among others, it is imperative that we revisit the foundation of our problem. A lot of things are going on in the Biafra restoration project. A lot of things are going on in the life of our people, as you can all see it. The problem remains the same. The mountain looks as if it is insurmountable, but all these are not true. But yet they exist, yet they persist, and that is because we have failed to visit the very foundation of our existence. I will have to go back to Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu, the man who brought everything out to a standstill. I cannot say he's the man who started this revolution, but he brought everything in its totality. He placed them on the table, and so the global community have the privilege to negotiate, to have their say in that very matter. The indigenous people of Biafra has a role to play in that very discussion, and of course our neighbors, the Ududuwa, the Arewa, and every other African country within this continent, they all have their role to play, and that is because one man understands the problem that faces us as a people. Let us go back there and let it serve as a guide on this very discussion this evening.
We have tried to live a Nigeria designed by Great Britain and handed to us. We have found it difficult to live in that Nigeria. We have fought a civil war, killed so many people, and still we have the same problems reoccurring. Perhaps the time has come to revisit the very foundations of Nigeria.
And now that is the voice of Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu, the People's General. He made mention of the very precarious situation we have found ourselves. He said the problem is that we are trying to live in Nigeria designed by the British. We have fought wars and a lot of things has gone wrong. We have killed so many of our people, and we are still here on the same problem. But I think it is time we revisit the very foundation of this problem. I will have to replay that very audio, and I want you to meditate on it, of course, after this program. Let us go back again. Maybe you will get the truth. But don't forget, I remain George ONYIBE, who is from Agbo Anyoma Province, Delta State, Biafra land. Let's go back to Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu.
We have tried to live a Nigeria designed by Great Britain.
Number one.
We have found it difficult to live in that Nigeria.
Number two.
We have fought a civil war, killed so many people.
Number three.
And still, we have the same problems reoccurring. Perhaps the time has come to revisit the very foundations of Nigeria.
Okay, let us look at it. In this short clip, Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu emphatically laid three issues on the table. He said, number one, we have tried. We have tried to live in a Nigeria designed by Great Britain. We have tried. We have tried. Then number two, he said, we know it cannot work. We've done everything to this situation. It didn't work. We fought a civil war. We killed so many of our people. And here we lie. It's having gone through these stages, I think it is time to revisit the very foundation of this Nigeria. Now, let's not misunderstand what he meant. Considering the submission of Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu on this very audio, one should begin to ask himself, what is the foundation of our problem that must be revisited? And understand, the People's General is not an ignorant man. He made it clear to you, first of all, that we have tried to live in a Nigerian designed by Britain. The evidence abound. Those of you on Facebook, you can see the video, combined picture converted to video that I'm playing there. you see their children and our children. Most of them are pastors. Some of them are imam, afars, intellectuals, opinion molder, leaders of thought. Some of the greatest minds that influence this universe. And of course, we cannot say they are ignorant. But manage and promote unfair society. You will agree with him, Chukwuemeka that somewhere along the line we need to visit the foundation of our problem. What am I trying to say in non-share? Nigeria is designed by the United Kingdom, and it was designed for a purpose. Yes, train, aircraft, automobile, bicycle, another form of technology meant to enhance mobility. They are all for transportation, but they serve uniquely on different field. And so when you have a truck, it is not meant to be used as a car. They are uniquely prepared for something spectacular or others cannot provide. The same way, when Nigeria was produced, when Nigeria was designed, when Nigeria was created by a demigod, the United Kingdom, it was designed to serve a particular purpose. We know, our fathers know, Muhammadu Buhari knows, Olusegun Obasanjo knows, T.Y. Danjuma knows, Ibrahim Babangida, they know. We all know Nigeria cannot work. This is a British country, but yet they tried. You know, we believe in improvising. They have improvised. For instance, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, like I said, is not an ignorant man. He's well learned, he's well exposed, well educated. He has served with the colonial masters, as they are referred, imperialists. He has served in the Nigerian state from its creation. He has served in the local government. He has served in the national range. He has served in different capacity. And so I think he's in the right position to tell you that they have tried. When he graduated, the first place he worked was in Niger State, Zungeru. He was attached to the office of the colonial master, the imperialist, the head office, the head administration of the imperialist. He worked with them before he joined the military. They have tried. They have tried. If I have to digress a little bit, 4 countries makes up the United Kingdom. Their culture and tradition varies. Their mode of operandi varies. They know this. But somewhere along the line, they agree to live as a nation. And the interest of every component member is looked into. And those who felt that their issues are not properly reviewed or considered, they tell you they want to exit, and they campaign for it, and they have their wish. But the same thing is not good for Nigeria. Yes, Britain created Nigeria, United Nigerian State, United State in Africa, Nigeria. How do I call it? Just the same way United Kingdom was created. But now we have tried Britain to live as one Nigeria, but it's not working. We've done everything possible. It's not working. We fought a civil war, like Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu stated out. We killed so many of our people. It's not working. And now here we are. We have to revisit the very foundation of this problem. But before then, we must not fail to understand that our problem could be classified into 2 categories. Not until we begin to have deep thoughts. Not until we begin to out of sincerity of purpose, out of genuine intention, begin to review our position. Most of you are not even ready for what is coming. That is why anytime we sit back, we see some of our brothers in IPONC. Of course, when I talk of IPONC, indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu, I'm talking about Simeon Ekpa, the latest criminal. I'm talking about Idu Kingdom. I'm talking about every other Yahoo freedom fighter. They are all the same. Don't let them deceive you. You know, some people will say, oh, you got to live in Nnamdi Kanu alone. You got to live in Nnamdi Kanu alone. I am responding at impulse, because all of them are the same. I don't know who Simeon Ekpa is. He has not risked anything for this struggle. He has not even been in any protest. And when I see our zombie brother, oh, autopilot, and they cannot visage that they are about to crash, I pity them. But all these are the handwork of Nnamdi Kanu. He asks Idu Kingdom, be distracting the people, be distracting them with Idu, be distracting them with Idu till I come out. But the point is that all of you are not ready for what is coming. And so each time we come here, you must understand it is not the hatred of you or any other person that drives us. It is the genuine and sincere love to see our people survive that drives us. And so we will spare nothing until we get it right. Our problems are categorized in two sections, in two forms. But while you are doing what you are doing, this is the time to understand it's not taking us anywhere. I was like, give us Biafra, forget about Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, he has failed. Just move on. But you don't have shame. It's almost 15 years. We have been within Nnamdi Kanu. We've guided him. We've advised him. We've watched over him. We've prayed for him. We put our life on the line. We bear the consequence of his error. And then we give him the praise of our labor. We did everything to make him like a superhuman. Just like Mazi Mefo said in the previous broadcast of Mazi Ojogene. He said since he left, another eminent Biafra left Nnamdi Kanu. What have you achieved? Only fundraising. Only fundraising. The disgrace that will hit Nnamdi Kanu, he's not ready for it, because he desificates. And all of you who call people saboteur, but you are saboteur, you're urinating on the grave of our heroes and heroine. Karma will visit you. Let me remind you before we proceed. I went to Arochukwu, like Mazobi they pointed out. I took the oath. It was so bad. That night, head of volunteer enemy and another head of volunteer River State, they were instructed by Nnamdi Kanu to take me to two different shrines. I have said it before, to take an oath. But for what? That I will not betray Biafra. I'm not talking about the paper oath. I'm talking about going to shrine. The people I mentioned are not dead, they are alive. But then Nnamdi Kanu said Eluhua, Eluhi, Eluhua. But with the information at our disposal, if Nnamdi Kanu can be so stupid and hopeless, the people of Biafra must understand that for us to get out of this mess, we really need to revisit the very foundation of our problem. And most of you are shying away. You are not going anywhere. And like I said, the very foundation of our problem could be classified into two categories. The first one should be referred, or is referred to, as internal foundational problem. The first foundational problem is referred to as external foundational problem. Which emanates from the Nigerian colonialist driven agenda. Under this external problem, from the creation of Nigeria, you have first of all the political crisis. when the British created Nigeria, it was designed with a pendulum of chaos. The more you try to renovate it, the more it causes more havoc. And that is what we are still suffering today. And one of these pendulum of chaos should be referred as political crisis. In political science, a constitutional crisis is a problem. Our conflict in the functions of a government that the political constitution or other fundamental government law is perceived to be unable to resolve issues that affect the people's well-being. When Denchukwemeko Odimegbojuku said it is time perhaps to revisit the very foundation that created this Nigeria. And I made you to understand that the problem is categorized, classified into two. First, we are looking at the external problem, foundational problem. And under this external foundational problem that put us into this mess, we look at the issue of political crisis. And now there are some pro-Biafran group or some Nigerianists who are online, who are making every effort, who are calling on constitutional review, who are calling on constitutional amendment, who are sincerely honestly, they know what they are fighting for. And if I may remind you this evening, no matter any form of change, whether positive or negative, that is applied to the Nigerian state in its current position with that very 1999 constitution, you are not going anywhere. It is as good as not doing anything. And that is why when some pro-Biafran group continue to hit the nail on the head and say pull down the 1999 constitution, it is because they may have in-depth knowledge of what political crisis is all about. The people who created Nigeria initiated political crisis. Political crisis, it gives the governing body a constitution that is not able, does not have the capacity to resolve any issues as concerning the well-being of our people. Can you tell me any constitution of Nigeria without a clause of emancipation? I mean a clause of nepotism, without a clause of tribalism, without a clause of disenfranchisement, without a clause of corruption. All our constitution in the Nigerian state is actually the embodiment of evil and a very failed state in its totality. You have to revisit it. How do we revisit it? Chukwuemeka Odimegwu made an attempt. When you hear about Aburi Accord, when they went to Ghana, what did they go to do? It was to review the constitution of Nigeria. It could be referred to as restructure in their own time or terms. But he has done everything he could to make sure that this very problem, political crisis, is resolved. It is not. It is still being backed up by those who manage this company called Nigeria. And under this external problem, we have social conflict. This is another clause, another ingredient that has kept us in this mess. When you talk about social violence crisis, such as terrorism and violent crime, plunged into a deep economic and social crisis like unemployment and food scarcity without help from the government. When we talk about social conflicts, it emanates from violent social crisis with evidence of terrorism. And I can assure you now the Kano is not well informed. Some people say, oh, you are illiterate, you didn't go to school, hey, you are illiterate. Instead of me to be educated man like Nnamdi Kanu, may I and my rest generation be literate. Because one of the instruments of our undoing is social conflicts, which involve violence, terrorism. But the last time I checked, Nnamdi Kanu didn't go to school. That is why I don't blame him much. He was a barber in London, and he will be talking to me. A barber, a common barber. They just brush him up. Now he's a supremacy, he's a leader. If we do not address all this issue, we are not going anywhere. Some of you are eagerly insulting your mother and father, misbehaving on social media, looking for who to kill, to the extent that most of you have gone mad. You now eat your brother's meat. You now take your brother, butcher your brother, just take his body parts, dry it and turn it to, is it buffet they call it? You now eat it. You are looking for Biafra. This is under that very social conflict. These are exactly some of the ingredients that was initiated in the creation of Nigeria. And then how can we be serving God with the instrument of Satan? In inception, we said we are not going to get involved in armed conflicts. We said we are not going to carry arm. But we said we will resist Nigeria. We will defend ourselves. The method or manner of defending ourselves is not your business. But we're never going to get involved with armed struggle. I can only remember how powerful we used to be. Nobody can come out openly and talk to us, because we're operating within the preambles of the law. The United Nations, they could not fault us in any way. Amnesty International stand by our side, and numerous other human rights organizations. We are the one being killed. We still keep protesting, and the more we do this, the more we bring Nigeria to her knee. But look at today. We introduce terrorism. The southeast is a no-go area. It is not because there are some superhuman over there. It is because you are yet to come to your senses to understand that these are the very foundation of our problem, and we should not be promoting such evil. And then somebody come out, you say it's unknown gunmen. You know, say, oh, God bless unknown gunmen. And then some of you supposedly wise people, you raise arm, oh, let's fight them. Who exactly are you fighting? Who exactly? Because the last time I checked, ESM, unknown gunmen, another terrorist group managed by Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. They are only killing Igbo people. It's just like Nigeria. They do everything they do on the expense of our people. Why must we become the weapons of our doing? Or are we not reasoning any longer? Have we lost the capacity to reason, to evaluate our position in order to focus on doing the right thing? They create hunger. The greatest weapon deployed against Ojukwu and his men were hunger, starvation. Today, there is still that strategy being deployed systematically. There is hunger everywhere in Nigeria. There is unemployment. There is high cost of living. You cannot pay school fees. You cannot feed your family properly. You cannot wear decent clothes, dress properly. And of course, you have to live on debt to be able to meet up some of the requirements, domestically speaking. These are some of those things that Dim Chukwu Emeka Odimegwu Ojukwu was pointed out. We need to see how we can solve, first of all, political crisis, and then social conflicts. Each time IPONC tell you, sit at home, they are fueling the social conflicts. Our people may not be speaking on. Most of them are tired for sit at home. And each time you sit at home, it affects the economic GDP of the southeast. Each time you sit at home, somebody is going to die somewhere. I've recorded about almost 18 persons who have died as a result of sit at home. One needed to undergo an operation to be able to deliver because she was pregnant, but there was sit at home. On an attempt to rush her to the hospital, she died along the way because they had to choose beside sit at home or whether go to the hospital. And some could not access their doctor. Their situation become worse. And then you hear Simeon Ekpa, another idiot in diaspora, telling you, shit at home, you got to shit at home, without properly informing you, against your will. These are some of the external problems under social conflicts. Nnamdi Kanu is in prison. His wife and children are in UK. Bright Chimezie, another idiot, they have sent their children to Canada. Or is it America? And they are telling you, oh, sit at home, oh, sit at home. You are destroying everything we have that would have served as a backbone. But we are looking for freedom. Oh. Under this, the same external problem, foundational problem, we look at the economic development. Of course, when we talk about economic development, this is economical crisis. It's usually seen as a situation in which the economy of a country experiences a sudden downturn in its aggregate output or real gross domestic product, GDP. The rest of the economic crisis is a decline in real income per capita, an increase in underdevelopment and poverty. The other external problem that we must watch out is economic development or economical crisis. What is the GDP of the southeast states since we start seeing it at home? Eventually, we lost our moral ground. IPONC lost their moral ground. Before we tell Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu must be released unconditionally. Why? Because everything he is doing, it is not only that it is written in the United Nations Charter, it is also part of Nigerian Constitution. It is his right. But by the time you see us shamelessly going to Nigeria and begging for political solution, you eventually indicted yourself. You agree that you are a criminal. You agree that you have wronged, you've broken the law. Which in the real sense, if Nnamdi Kanu did not turn to Boko Haram in Biafra land, they cannot hold him down. Yes, he has a very strong argument. They invaded my house, then I have to run away. And then when you run away, what did you do? You now create unknown government to come and kill all of us. And then you carry you and Bright Chimezie, another idiot. You send your children abroad. It will not be well with all of you until you repent. Don't be deceiving yourself. You will understand that there is a God that lives in heaven, except we have soiled our hand. And then may God leave the feet of our enemy on our neck. But if in sincerity, in genuinity, we put our blood in this thing for the good of our people, and then somewhere along the line you want to maneuver everybody and deceive everybody, you fail. You've met your Waterloo, because all of us are not meant to be sacrificed. This is one truth you need to get used to very soon. But the people of Biafra must understand, we cannot be deceiving ourselves. We must revisit the very foundation of this problem we are facing as a people. Dem Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu understood that we cannot solve this problem through war. He said, we have fought war. We have killed many people. He understood perfectly well we can't solve this problem through war. Are we running for war? If you know how ready we are, those of you exhibiting your madness, we know you are joking. Akorogoya so he okpokpo scatter ya kenye nwara acho okpokpo scatter ya hotako okpokpo scatter ya ragwenyegon. But then where is courtesy? Where is principle? What about our dignity? Where is the honor? What is our pride? But come to look at it at the other end. If we fight war, we will still come to the negotiating table. We should learn from what is happening in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. The spectators are playing politics, game of interest. Some want to sell ammunition, and then they are going to encourage Ukraine. Some want to form alliance, and then they are going to support Russia, irrespective of who is wrong or who is right. We all know the truth. The senator who moved on and then endorsed the bombing of Libya and now telling you they are for peace, but during the time of Libya they are for war, and now during the time of Russia and Ukraine they are for peace. Who the heck is deceiving who here? But that is not the area of focus. Learn from them. If we decide to fight war at this very moment, without visiting the foundation of the very problem that plagues us as a people, Russia will support Nigeria, America will support Nigeria, Israel will support Nigeria. Go and ask Nnamdi Kanu. Israel chased him out. They gave him ultimatum date. If you like, we are Rabatarian and Robotarian, Anye Bondi Israel, Anye Bondi Jews, Yoshi. Ask Nnamdi Kanu, he was given ultimatum of 7 days to evacuate from Israel. That is why you don't hear about our Israel embassy, our Israel embassy. Ask him. They almost smuggled him out. You have to run away. China, Japan, all of them will support Nigeria. Why? Because of the problem in the foundation of creating this Nigeria. But this situation can be remedied. This situation can be remedied. That is why Ojukwu last call, having formed a political party, having consulted his people, having consulted those that should unquote not his people, having consulted every component member that made up this Biafra nation in its dying age, in its dying period, he said, we have done everything humanly possible. And so when you have a faulty automobile, when your vehicle has fault, for example, it refused to start, and you call an electrician and say, please, my vehicle refused to start, the first thing they do is they insert the key into the ignition, and then they start to start it for confirmation, and then it didn't start, and then they're going to check the electrical connection from the battery, and then they see the battery has current and the connections are intact. Then they know it has a fault. They move on to the kick and check if current is getting there. If it is, they check the ammeter or auto kick, which is part of the kick itself, and then they move on to the brain box. They can change the nozzle, the carburetor, as the case may be, but then they check from one stage to another, and at the end of the day, if they are not able to solve the problem, they meet another higher technician or engineer. The engineer will say, what have you done so far? And then they have to narrate what they have done, and then it is now the new engineer, more experienced, will now tell the other, okay, let us start all over again. Since you have tested here, you have tested this, you have done this, you have done that, let us check this other way. That is exactly what Dim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu was telling us, and is still telling us. We have fought war. We didn't form Malatia group. We fought war. We have opposed the government of the day. We have seek for peace. We have called for restitution. We have called for restructure. We have called for constitutional amendment. We have called for devolution of power. We have called for secession. We have called for everything callable. We don't want to be part of this Nigeria, and yet we are still inside this deep shit called Nigeria. My brother, it is time to revisit the very foundation of our problem. And don't think, yes, we know how it's going to be, we have the idea. You do not understand. We are living in a Nigeria created by the British Kingdom. Its purpose is properly defined, and it cannot be changed until procedures and protocol, approach of things, and the way we manage situation and circumstance regarding us as a people is looked into. And then we look at the other aspect of this very foundational problem that Dim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu pointed out, that we have to go there. We look at this, the second foundational problem, which is internally generated crisis. The other one is external generated crisis, and this is internal generated crisis. We have lack of coordination. When Ojukwu was saying, let us revisit this issue, some of this problem that has kept us here. Under this other category of internal foundational problem, a look at lack of coordination. If we cannot coordinate ourselves, why should we talk about getting our own country? And Buhari know this truth. General President Muhammadu Buhari knows this truth. In 2015, when protest was going on in Biafra land under IPONC, and Al Jazeera, if I'm not mistaken, granted a press interview with Muhammadu Buhari and said, what is your take on this Biafra agitation on every corner of Nigeria? President Muhammadu Buhari did not say much. He simply said, Biafra, they are looking for Biafra. They should first of all go and organize themselves. They should do what? First of all, go and organize themselves. Then they come, we talk. In other words, even Buhari, you may say is illiterate. Even Buhari, you can say is alamajiri. He understands we are not organized. How do we organize? And you can push it to organize. No. How do we get organized? Then Chukwuemeka Odumegwu stated it very clearly. One of our challenge, foundational problem, is that we are not organized. Just look at what we are doing on the platform in guise of Biafra restoration project. It is appalling. It is laughable, disgraceful, very shameful. People will come out and lie. People will come out and blackmail. I don't go swear for now. God will give you a taste of this evil you have initiated in our land. He said, go and get yourself organized. Go and get yourself organized. Did you know that implication? We are not organized. To be organized, everybody must learn to mind their duty post. The Bible rightly said, he said, go to the ant and understand how they organize themselves. They do not have leader, they don't have commander, but yet they organize themselves. The absence of a leader, the absence of a general does not prove an organized society. No. The magic of being able to organize yourself is going to come through proper orientation, proper indoctrination, telling the people the truth at all time. It's not going to come by your sword. For people to be organized is not the work of a bully. It goes beyond that. Like I said, the Bible made it clear. The ant don't have leader, they don't have king, they don't have supremo. But they understand that first of all, they need to work to feed. Second of all, while they're working to feed on daily basis, they need to store food. In case of raining season, they may not be able to come out and look for food, and so they must store food. This is organizing. And when they are doing this, you will understand what Buhari meant when he said, let them go and organize themselves. But as Homo sapiens, let's say a little bit more knowledgeable, wiser, more advanced than the animals, it's very difficult for us to organize ourselves, because everybody has a point to claim, and while you are claiming your point, you're going to see where it's going to leave us to. Look at where we are already. Look at where we are already, and some of you think it's going to end very soon. We must purge ourselves of all this criminality, all this shenanigan, all this evil. We must purge ourselves of it. Coordination. Let me use anthill to tell you what it means to be coordinated. If you have any anthill around your house, just take a shovel, maybe a digger, go to that anthill. First of all, break it down, destroy the hill completely, and then go back. Don't touch anything, just destroy the hill. In a week time, come back. The ant will rebuild the hills. Not all of them get involved in rebuilding the hills. They have specialists who build the hills. There are so many types. They are all ant hill, but they all have unique purposes and functions. Nobody crosses his boundary. But if you really want to put an end to that ant hill, come out in the morning. Look for the direction where the sun rises. That is the location where you will find the queen. The queen is the largest among it. It is protected in a mold which is used to cover the queen round. It is a source of fertility. And there are another type of anthill whose duty is specially meant to protect the queen. They move the queen around, and then you have the king, and then you have the armies in different rank and category. When you pour water in their home, there are particular anthill that will go and combat the water. When you put fire, there is a specific unique one that is meant to combat the fire. When you come as a person, there are some with very wonderful teeth. They will bite hell out of you. Very coordinated. Am I saying they cannot be defeated? But as animal, they put up a very strong resistance. That is organizing. And so when Dim Chukwemeka Dimegwojuku said, let us visit the foundation of our problem. Our problem is that we have not been able to organize ourselves. Till today, Ekwem Lekwem. Dim Chukwemeka Dimegwojuku, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Isaac Adakaburu, Ken Sariwiwa, Elechi Mountains, Obiwale. Should I begin to mention? Ejike Mbono, Professor Ben Wabweze, Akane Biam. Should I begin to mention? Enahoro. How many? All these wise brain, all of them were alive. All of them saw this problem. They could not cooperate. If you are not able to keep quiet and understand what is going on, you will be yapping and be looking for who will entertain you. I'm not an entertainer. I don't expect everyone to understand what I'm saying, but the truth has glued your heart. It cannot leave you even when you reject it. It has glued your heart. You will wake up one morning and say, this thing is the truth. That is why we don't care. Reject us, but accept our message, because that is the message of liberation. All these people were there. Let me digress a little bit. During the Biafran War, or Nigerian Genocidal War, we have 4 regions in Nigeria. 4 regions. Or should I say 5? But it's 4. Because the Middle Belt region was under the Northern region. And so let's say you have the Northern region, you have the Western region, you have the Midwestern region, and then you have the Eastern region. Okay, let's assume it's 5. Then you have the Middle Belt region. But I know the Middle Belt region was not there then. 2 Igbo men control 2 regions out of 5. Are you telling me Ojukwu is supposed to fail? Coordination. 2 Igbo men are in charge of 2 regions. Imagine if the 2 regions were able to coordinate themselves. Imagine if these 2 regions use the resources at their disposal. Imagine these 2 regions form alliance. Imagine these two regions acted as one. From where I come from, some say it is the blood of God that runs in our vein. But in a nutshell, enyi huogo enya ajuni, enyi huogo enya ajuni, enyi wundi omeni enyi huogo enya ajuni. But how the Nigerian state was able to oppress the Igbo state, make a fool of us, it's not because we are weak, lack of coordination. And if the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu was alive today, and I have the privilege to ask him some question, I would have asked him, why did you neglect Ubumudia? What is the extent you went to? And I would have asked Ubumudia in his pride, why do you jettison your brother? You see, today we are all making the same mistake Ojukwu and Ubumudia made, but we still cannot see it. We pretend and justify our ignorance. But I am happy, because one day we will not have a choice. We will embrace the truth. And somebody is going to say, no, we are not Midwestern region. Oh, but I am Eastern region. I had a discussion with a man today, and he's a Yoruba man. He doesn't behave like a Yoruba man, but I can't figure it. And maybe I say he's a genuine Christian. He's a unique guy, I must tell you. He doesn't behave like Yoruba. But I discovered the truth today. And as we were having conversation, and he said, my sister, my wife is from Abo. I say, and I said to myself, no wonder. Because the point is that there is a way we behave. We are not the best too, but there is a way we behave. For that man to have this level of tolerance, for that man to have this level of coordination, for that man to project sincerity, for that man to be that who he is, even as a Yoruba man, I knew something somewhere is organizing this man. Go and ask TB Joshua. TB Joshua's wife is from Abo. Go and ask her. You see, TB Joshua doesn't behave like Yoruba man. Forget about your opinion about him. Now let's come back a little bit. You have Obumudia in charge of Midwestern region. You have Dean Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, governor of the Eastern region. Two of them cannot coordinate themselves. If these two Igbo men controlling two regions in Nigeria at this point in time cannot coordinate themselves, are you telling me any of them can influence Urobo man? Are you telling me any of them can influence Ishekiri man, Ogoni man, Ogoja man, Iyala man, Idoma man, Igala man? Are you telling me? My brother, drink water and relax and think again. Coordination. This is one way to revisit the very foundation of our problem. How did we get here? Now let's take some time and look at an audio coming from Nnamdi Kanu when he granted an interview to Dele Momodu. Let's look at it so that you will see some of this truth, because Nnamdi Kanu know the truth. The devil that have entered him, that he deliberately decided to bastardize, destroy the Biafra restoration project, which he did not start. I cannot understand, but we shall see where he is heading to. Let's drive some truth from what he said here.
Do you have a...
Yes, I am having some network challenges, but it is going to come out. Dele Momodu was asking Nnamdi Kanu, now that you are fighting for Biafra, do you have
map for Biafra?
Okay.
Where will it start from and where will it end?
First of all, do you know that if I ask you now, Dele, how many states do you have Igbo people in Nigeria? How many states will you tell me? It's a simple question. You're a journalist.
I will say everywhere.
No, I mean where they are indigenous to, where they come from. There could be Igbo people in Lagos and not from Lagos, the Igbo people. If I ask you right now, how many states in Nigeria do you think that Igbo people are indigenous to? How many would you say? 5 Southeast states? After all, that is the Igbo territory. Is that what you say?
Yes.
I have a surprise for you. It is 13. Igbo.
Okay, we'll stop there. That is the area I want you to understand. We have 13 states. Currently, you have indigenous Igbo there. But on the freedom fighter, why are you people not coordinating yourself? I feel disconnected already. It's just that I have a higher way of reasoning. Because, for instance, when Nnamdi Kanu created Eastern Security Defender, did they have Agboman in that agenda? When Nnamdi Kanu created Eastern Security, that has metamorphosed to unknown government, do they have a Hodaman in that agenda? Does it cover Ikure man? Does it cover Eka man in Akwa Ibom? Does it cover the Igbo man in Cross River State? Does it cover the Igbo people in Bayelsa? Does it cover the Igbo people in Ado, Benue State? Does it cover the Igbo people in Igala? Does it cover the Igbo people in Edo State? Where does your Eastern Security? Understand, Nnamdi Kanu didn't come here to fight for 5 states. We should not be here in the first place. We come to take all our brothers home. But now, if our Eastern Security does not have my interest at heart, you're telling me you're going to fool Urobo man, you're going to fool Ishekiri man, you're going to fool Ogoni man, you're going to fool Efik man, Ibibio man, Anang man, you're going to fool who to follow you? Organization. You've not thought about it. The very foundation of our problem. And now, if we continue listening to that very conversation, Dim Chukwemeko Dimegojuku started that Britain, United Kingdom, created their own Nigeria, and they want us to live inside it, and we've been managing to live inside this created product of Britain. We have been trying to. They created Nigeria to serve their own purpose. They want to make the Igbo nation useless. They want to make sure the Igbo nation becomes irrelevant. And so before our very eyes, they balkanize us, they butchered us, they pieces us one by one and call you river line, bottom line, sideline, sideway line, on top of land, middle belt, and Yoma, and they call you different names. And every day, the remaining 5 states in the southeast where the Igbos are united, watch, they are coming for it. If we are not able to organize ourselves, very soon Anambra man will tell you it's not Igbo man. Mark my word. Imo man will tell you, Amando Bankwili, they will tell you we are not Igbo. We shall know who will answer that name. You can't organize yourself. Buhari knew this. The people who created Nigeria, they deliberately did it. To let you know how bad things has actually been. You see an Igbo man, he tells you I'm not Igbo. I'm not Igbo. Guy, don't be angry. Don't get problem with them. Just calm them down and say, but true, who you think say you be? And when they see you mean no harm, they open up for you. They open up for you. You have Igbodo in River State, you have Igbodo in Abia State, you have Igbodo in Delta State, but they are not Igbo. You have Osuso in River State, you have Osuso in Abia State, you have Osuso in Imo State, but they are not Igbo. They are not Igbo. We are not organized. If I have learned less with the criminality of Nnamdi Kanu, I would have spent the rest of my life fighting against myself. That is fighting against the Igbo. But I know better. I don't expect you not to misunderstand me. That is your business. But I have to tell you the truth. If I do not know better now, before now, if I don't know better now, that is why you go to my broadcast in iPunk then. I keep telling you my greatest anger towards the Yoruba or the Nigerian state. Is generalizing the problem of one man and calling everybody. By now they would have said, Igbo people, you know, see Igbo people, now so Igbo people they do. No, now we tell you, if you do something, we tell you you are responsible, you are the one. That is why we keep calling in the Kano. We're not calling any other person. But if you want your name to be mentioned, mumu yourself and come out like Simeon Ekpa, Yahoo freedom fighter. Now the Kano hired him to come and change the narrative, converting a pressure group to a political machinery and zombies. As hey, autopilot, all of them go crash. And I go break one leg. If you see autopilot anywhere, tell them one leg. They won't die. They will break one leg. Just see them, tell them one leg. I will make a post to that effect for you, Ndiara. You're not organized. Being organized goes beyond becoming a superman. Being organized goes beyond moderating yourself in a very calmly and decent manner. Being organized, it also implies gaining control in the midst of chaos. You know what is being organized? When you see people who are organized, both the one that smoke Igbo, both the one that take Mkpurumiri, both the one that drink Kai Kai, both the one that take goof, all of them in the same hall, they organize them. Go and learn from the Rastafarians. Maybe you will understand what I'm saying. Go to the disciples of Jesus. He said, have I not chosen all of you? Some of you are dwarf, some of you are giant, some of you are hot-tempered, some of you are yahoo, some of you are even devil. But I have chosen all of you. That is organized. So visiting the very foundation of our problem imply that the need should be a need to begin to reorganize ourselves. Look at us now. Only God knows where one woman come from, having been employed by Nnamdi Kanu. Hey, we are Idu. Biafra is sinful. Biafra is a ritualist. Biafra is a killer. Biafra is it not Nelly? But this is what Nnamdi Kanu asked her to say. And then you see people say, oh, we are Idu. Idu kingdom, no more Biafra, we have become Idu. Ndi Bobiano one Indi Idu, ewe Idu, we got Idu Obao, ewe Idu. Do you know what you are saying? Because Idu come out from our name, when I come become Idu. Don't you know you have Allah in Igbo land, Igbo dialect? You have Allah in Bayelsa dialect. You have Allah in Yoruba dialect. Do they mean the same thing? Tomorrow Yoruba will come and say, my name is Ola because I am from Igbo. My grandfather metamorphosed from Igbo. That is why you answer Ola. Ola and Ola, are they the same thing? Go and ask Bayelsa man. Because we have Udu Oba. Hey, Anambra people have become Idu. Hey, where we be Idu. Nazuneri. Anumpama everywhere. You're not organized. There are things we should not even utter. We can't even say them until there are proper verification. Now everybody come out and talk rubbish. Everybody come out and talk rubbish. That is why all of you who I respect so high, who have belittled yourself, you will not escape what you have bargained for. Because of time, we look at the other foundational problem. We talk about the internal foundational issue, and this is a personal driven agenda. And this is a problem. Personal driven agenda. Everybody have personal agenda, and most of us, as wise as we are still being controlled by, influenced by this demon. You have agenda. Who told you know it all? Who told you know it all? Wise man will die for foolish man backyard. Who told you know it all? When we come out and say, let us cook for the whole community, who told you that the whole community like rice? Who told you rice is the choice of the community? How did you know? The very foundation in our very existence that plagues us as a people, that need to be revisited, it is personal agenda. You bring somebody to manage the affair of a community. Before you know, his agenda first. Do to others what you want them to do to you. I am a very powerful man, and I know that very well. As a leader of IPOB, leading over 200 billion people around the world, I can play God if I like. I can decide who live and who die. Mad people. Who told you that? Who told you that? Now your ego is your agenda. No, you can't insult him. He's our leader. He's our holy. He's our Rabosha. He's our this one. You cannot talk to him. Leave her. Is that our agenda? Are we here to build a God? Or we are here to fight for the freedom of our people? You sing another music now. Holy, holy, holy. The Otokano is another. Sing another one. Whether we give us Biafra. We are talking about the collective interest of our people. And some people are projecting their own personal agenda. What a shame. That same thing that make Obomudia to ignore Dim Chukwu Emeka Odimegojuku also affected Nnamdi Azikiwe. He did not give his political support to Dim Chukwu Emeka Odimegojuku. That same thing affect Urobo. He affect Shekiri. He affect Ogoni. He affect all of us. And right here on this very platform, Biafra agitation platform, it is affecting all of us. Because Nnamdi Kanu created standard. He created Kaaba. Some of you will have to take oath in the devil's shrine. Others don't need oath. And so they tell you that did not take oath to come and fight me that take oath, in order to restrain me from reacting. And then I become a zombie for the rest of my life. God forbid. I am guided by spiritual principles, and I am well informed when it comes to those issues. When the leaders are dishonorable, the people are removed from under oath not to obey them. Nnamdi Kanu is dishonorable, and by this divine fundamental principle, I am removed from under any oath and obligation to obey him. He's a criminal. Now you get it. Personal agenda. When Simeon Ekpa started exhibiting his madness gradually, we told you he didn't take oath. On Radio Biafra and Yoshi, they are telling you, yes, Nnamdi Kanu called him on phone and they gave him oath. He's on oath and he's on oath. And today you are telling us, it's not an oath member. It's not an oath member. And Yohi. Why will you allow your personal agenda to rubbish everything that we are and we are doing? And as much as there is a problem in the creation of Nigeria, we have helped pour fertilizer on those problems through this exhibition of certain nonchalant attitude that has led us here. We need to revisit it. No, just check yourself. Why did Nnamdi Kanu do 2 oaths? What is his agenda? What does he have in mind? You know, Jesus said to the disciple, when they slap you here, give them the other one. It doesn't work that way. If you slap me as a reverend that I am, just pray I am not with cutlass. I will slap you 10 times. I won't give you the other ear. That is exactly by implication what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. He gave us oath. And then he unleashed people who did not take oath to rubbish us. And then because I am under oath, and then I have to become zombie. I rather rot ahead than to take that your rubbish. You don't understand. When they slap you on this ear, please give them the other ear. Hallelujah. Amen. Come and slap me. That demon that bring you to come and slap me should get ready, so you take my own slap. Why are we like this? Personal driven agenda. They put you a place. Moderate, coordinate. Your agenda supersede that of all. You speak authoritatively as if you have the pair of light in your hand. But my brother, the day a leader begin to die for those he is leading, is the day that leader begin to gain his life back. But the day a leader begin to live on the expense of those he's supposed to protect, is the day that leader begin to die. If Nnamdi Kanu like, let him bring heaven down to this earth. He is gone. He is gone. He has finished his mission. The best thing he can do is to step aside and let the people who have the mandate now to give us Biafra. But you can still be there shouting, oh, Anonga man, shit at home, jump up and down. Oh, you have to visit the foundation of this problem. Now the Kanu have insulted man and God. Now the Kanu has defied the very process. And the system have rejected him. How many times do you remember those who died? You are waiting for 30th of May? What a shame. How many times did you allow their sacrifice to prick your conscience when you do what you do? And then we look at the third one there, which is the inability to create an all-inclusive platform. The inability to create an all-inclusive platform. Each time I look at people, let me use Mazimefo as example this time. Mazimefo has not had any misunderstanding with Nnamdi Kanu. Mazimefo is a reserved man to the best of my knowledge. It's not egoistic. You know what I mean? It's just, I call him Nwafada. I personally love him. Not because he gives me money. Not because I don't know. He's humble. He said, blessed are the meek in spirit, for they shall inherit the earth. And if anybody have given me reason to protect Nnamdi Kanu, it is Mazimefo. And I love both of them. They are human. They make mistakes. I ignore them. I overlook them. As far as they understand that there is a limit to what they can do, I have no problem with their mistakes. And now we come up one day. Ikpese no gwabia. Now they cannot have the mind to come on radio and tell you gullible rat and pigeon in the cage. Under my watch, they sold Radio Biafra. Nigeria has taken over. But you are still listening to the Radio Biafra today. That you're taking on the Kanu should apologize to Uchimefo. But of course, a superior argument will say, hey, did he call his name? After all, he didn't call his name. You are idiot. That your superior argument is very evil. And so some of you today, you wish Mazimefo death. Some of you today, if your madness is not being checked, you will go and burn his house. Begin to kill his family. Why? To give us Biafra? Why? Because what Nnamdi Kanu said, he did it. Why? But I tell you, Nnamdi Kanu would have been more honorable if he had approached his deputy and said, my brother, what is going on? That is the very easiest way to win the heart of a strong man. If you call now and you advise me, I will tell thunder to fire you in the public because you are a hypocrite. But if you mean me well, I'm not a perfect man and I do something wrong, please come inside and say, brother, anyway, this thing you did, I don't think is the right thing to do. I may not accept instantly, but I will appreciate you for that later and I will do what you want. And I want to believe it's applicable to everybody. And Mazimefo, why are you doing this? What is the problem? I see them as husband and wife. You should understand the implication. But your relationship, your loyalty to Nnamdi Kanu means nothing. So if he can mess up his deputy, with the intention to mess up his deputy, is it George ONYIBE that you see? You know, he told them, rubbish George ONYIBE that he cannot open the front door of his house to come out. Now I'm rubbishing myself for you. Thunder fire you. How much are they paying you for rubbishing me? You must be able. Go and investigate the issue of Ukraine and Russia. You will see if the president of Ukraine have humbled himself. I don't think Putin is a bad man. Honestly, I'm not in support of any of them. I'm not speaking for any of them. But I'm telling you what I see. The president that left Ukraine before this new president, why was he not fighting with Putin? All inclusive. All inclusive. We make plans on how to move. Some of us are very reserved. We are conservatives. We are doing it. Let's do it this way. My brother, you must create all inclusive platform. You heard from Nnamdi Kanu. In 13 states in Nigeria, you have indigenous Igbo. In 13 states of Nigeria, you have indigenous Igbo. So when Southeast they go, what happened to other Igbo? And you can't even work with the Igbos inside Nigeria. Is it the Igbo in Equatorial Guinea you are going to bring back? If we the Igbos in Nigeria cannot work together, in Biafra land, do not have a platform that covers us, are you telling me you can give protection to the Igbos in Meduguri, Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, Ondo, Osun State? My brother, think again. And so when Dim Chukwemeko Dimegojuku call for the revisiting of the foundation of this, our problem, he pointed out first of all the formation behind the creation of Nigeria. And then he pointed out our inability to manage situation and circumstance has been reviewed in the external and internal foundational problem. We can clearly see that the initiation of war, violence, terrorism cannot give us Biafra, considering the nature of the problem that we face. If indeed we are a people in need of freedom, who seek for a better nation, we must ensure that we are organized. Our agenda must be purposeful driven, and all issues regarding the stakeholders must be considered. With this initiative, we can handle issues of fundamental problems in order to save ourselves from this ordeal. Don't let anybody deceive you. The Biafra we look for, the Biafra we long for, it's here with us already, and there is nothing you can do about it. If you like, create unknown gunmen, unknown gun women, believe me, it will not give us Biafra. If you like, harass and intimidate everybody, it will not give us Biafra. If you like, collect money, betray everybody, call everybody saboteur, it will not change anything or give us Biafra. If we like, we can start a war now, it will not give us Biafra. Let us revisit the foundation of our problem, and you will understand what Dim Chukwemeko Dimegu, some of his final advice, the implication. At this moment, our lines are open. Our direct line is 081-221-52971, 081-221-52971. That is our direct line, and if you are able to call in, you call in and make your contribution. But on the absence of that, we will be heading to a rounding up moment. And of course, the WhatsApp line is 070-815-45642. 070-815-45642. And of course, do not go anywhere. I'll be back in a very short time. Biafra is our destination. Biafra is where we are going, and Biafra is where we are coming from. There is no two ways about it. It cannot be alternated. It cannot be changed by anybody. I'll be back in a minute.
My song for freedom. They call me Chris Jockey. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I fear no evil, for so God and my soul is with me. Yeah, He's always with me. My brothers will be coming home. Yeah, we made it through the sun to home. We gave our blood to redeem our land, and the time is too late to join me. Let us get it now. For happiness we all rejoice. Yes, we are the children of God. I am talking about the holy land, yeah, where God will always reign, and the sun will shine again. So we the people rejoice, yeah, where no one will tell me, yeah, that my son is beside her, that I will lose my life for singing songs, where there is freedom of speech. Mr. Mefo will remind us, yeah, that we are children of the Most High God. In Jerusalem we meet again, yeah, 'cause we are, yes, we are the children of God, and the sun will rise. My brothers will be coming home.
Yes, of course, the sun will rise and our brothers and sisters will be coming home. We cannot afford to lose focus on our destination. We need to go home. And to be able to go home, it is important we go through the length and breadth of Biafra land. Like I said, our lines are open. If you're able to call in through the studio line, feel free to call in and make your contribution. It doesn't matter what you have to say. And if you cannot access the studio line, you have access to my private WhatsApp, of course. You can call in through my private social media platform and make your contribution. And that having been said, do not forget Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio. We are on FM 100.5, presently in some area in Anambra State and River State. And of course, we are on Facebook. We are on satellite. We are on app. You can get us on Simple Radio. And we encourage you. Go and get your PVC. The online portal is almost coming to an end. Make sure you take advantage of it. We ask you to first of all get your PVC. We will not ask you to vote for anybody, but we say get your PVC. It is going to speak for you one day. You're going to appreciate God you did it. Get your PVC. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And if you are a victim of Biafra agitation, you don't have to keep running. You don't have to keep hiding. You don't have to think it's the end of the world. You must step forward. We know the last atrocity that will be initiated. And we're trying to save all of you from all of us. And Jesus said to his disciple, when you see the abomination of dissolution spoken by the prophet Samuel standing in the holy place, those of you who are still reading the Bible, you should watch out closely. When you see the abomination of dissolution spoken by the prophets being exhibited in the life of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, those of you who have been victimized, do not step back, because it's going to affect you. Come forward. Look for any coordinator, Biafra Nation Alliance, wherever you are around the world. Somebody will attend to you. Do not allow them to misplace you. Do not allow them to to kill you unnecessarily, to delete you. But now those of you who are running for your life, you know the implication. You know the challenge there. Our problem remains the Nigerian state, which must be holistically revisited to its very foundation. Constitution must be reviewed. Those who are calling for amendment, it must be looked into. Those who are yearning for autonomous, devolution of power, restructuring, all of them need to be considered. And some are crying for Igbo presidency. And if we allow it to continue that way, it will become a bargaining chip to undermine us as a people in the nearest future. A lot of things has actually gone wrong, but we cannot correct them in a day. And so on this note, I will be winding up on this very broadcast. And Biafrans across the globe, I want you to take time out and ask yourself this simple question. What is really our problem? Where did it all started? Who is responsible? How did it come to dominate everything that we are? And then try to see if your mind can search out the solution. And if indeed you know the truth, which has the capacity of liberating all of us, engage on it. Walk on that path. Do your own part. And somewhere along the line, we shall be free. Because it really doesn't matter how long it takes. As far as the same formula, the same formation by which Nigeria was created is still in existence, Nigeria can never be a home for all of us. Nigerian can never mean us well. And on this note, I sign off from here. Tomorrow is another day. But I think I have a caller on the line, and let's see who is there. A caller on the WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Caller.
Yes, ONYIBE, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. You're welcome to the program as a ONYIBE. You're welcome. Good evening. Go ahead. Biafrans are listening.
Thank you very much, sir. I greet you and I greet all Biafrans all over the world this evening. I say, may Chukwu Kabiyama bless and keep all of us till we get Biafra and beyond. In His holy name. He's safe, he's safe. So I just call in concerning your presentation this evening. Is very, very welcome one. Honestly speaking, we need to revisit the foundation of this country and also our own problem as a people. Just like what you said, the problem of the Biafra restoration today lies on coordination. We are not organized. From the onset, we are not organized. Even those times when Ojukwu them was trying to put one or two things together, things was better that time than now in terms of organization and coordination. Though they make one or two mistakes, but they are more better than us today. So that is exactly where we must focus our attention, unification of our people. Just like the clip you played about Dele Momodu conversation with Nnamdi Kanu. I listened to that program live and I discovered one thing. From onset of Nnamdi Kanu in section of Biafra restoration to today, that man has no single document that that can make him a freedom fighter of Biafra. Ordinary map of the territory he agitating for their freedom, Nnamdi Kanu does not have. Look at what he answered Lumuju. How many states does Igbo occupy in Nigeria? But he's not fighting for Igbo nation. He's fighting for Biafra nation. Just to adopt that map initiated by Ojukwu, he did not do it. Assuming that he went to UN as he used to claim, then when UN asked him about the map of the territory of the places asking for their freedom, he will tell them that Igbo occupy 13 states in Nigeria. That's all. That is our problem. Chasing shadow, deceiving people, doing all manner of things in the name of freedom fighter. Some people call them Yahoo freedom fighters. Some people call them businessmen in freedom fighting. That is our problem. By today, we should have established a very strong document that can make us to be, that is to stand firm before any international organization. Look at what Buhari said to Al Jazeera some time ago, around 2015, as you said, if you remember it, that we should organize ourselves, then come to them, we talk, if they can give us a seat inside Nigeria. Because that guy, Buhari, know that we are not organized. And they are, and at the same time, they are the ones sponsoring the disunity. Because they know that once you get one small thing to black people, they will start misbehaving. Black people does not think about tomorrow, future. They think about today. Let me get my stomach filled. Me and my family. That is the problem we are having. Look at Nnamdi Kanu today. As Nnamdi Kanu is now, he cannot give account of how many people that has died in this shenanigans that he introduced. And yet people are still dying. Our economy is going down. Everything is falling upside down just because of one man. That is the problem we are having. When you tell people that this guy does not mean well for us, they start arguing with you, some of them. But those that have sense, that reason very well, knew it. In that acceptance speech that you made when you were expelled, there's a thing you said that everything that your people told you that will happen to you has happened except one thing. My brother, let me tell you, everything that some of my friends and relatives told me when I was joining IPOB, all of them has happened. No one remained. No one single remained. All the advice people gave me, no, look at what will happen, look at what we see. Even before so many of them started saying it, I have started seeing it. But I keep patient. I just say, no, let me see the root of everything that we're going in IPOB. Nnamdi Kanu is the one plotting and causing all the problems in the name of Biafra restoration. He came out and made us to understand that Wazirike is evil. But he adopted all the system and the programs of Wazirike. All the things he does, claiming that he's doing one thing or the other, has been done by Wazirike. Both sit at home, both started Mercy celebration, Wazirike started it. Both rally, both lifting flags, both though the time Wazirike started, social media has not been like this, you know. But he first condemned that guy, but he adopted his system and now add Elohim and Eloha to it, trying to differentiate himself. And today, what this has realized that he and his group alone cannot get Biafra. That's why you see him. I'm so happy for him that so many groups that is rising up today to put this. People that we are going for constitutional, it's a signal of customary government. I'm very happy for him to have realized that only one person or one group cannot do what we are looking for. We must unify ourselves. Look at how he is always going hand in hand. But Nnamdi Kanu does not want any tree to stand by himself, by his side. He wants only him that will be the hero so that will stand. That is the fundamental problem of this struggle. Had it been that we can put ourselves together and organize ourselves as a people, move with one voice, just 5 years, we will get Biafra. So this is exactly where my annoyance always goes. And this guy now has destroyed all the genuine mind that volunteer, donate their finance and resources and everything to make sure that this struggle is a reality. He has destroyed people's mind towards the struggle. Everybody now does not know whom to trust because all hope was on Nnamdi Kanu for some years back. Look at where we are today. He will come and tell you, I will lead you from front. I will do this, I will do that. But when something that he's supposed to be stand comes, he run away. Okay, today he's in DSS custody. What is he doing there? Is he discussing for his own personal interest or for the benefit of Biafrans or for what? Automatically he is there trying to see if there's a way he can negotiate himself out for a business with Nigeria. He has been doing it. So that is where we are today. And as for Nigeria, created and designed by British, everybody, the whole world know that British just did what they did to keep benefiting from our blood, not even our resources, our blood. Because when you say resources, if we get independent, whatever resources we have, we can still sell it to some other country that needed it. We can't produce the resources and buy it alone. We must do business with countries, you know. But Britain knew that if Biafra gets independent today, in no distant time, we will be rising like them, or we will be challenging the Western world, or things will start turn around in Africa. That is why they seek on Biafra remaining under the Fulani oligarchy. Because when you say Nigeria, Nigeria is the estate of the northern Fulani people. Their forefathers' estate, as they used to say. So that is the problem we are having. Everybody, I'm calling on every right-thinking human being in Biafra land. Let us forget about where we come from. In every country, there is nation inside nation. There is community inside community. But if you people want to make enhancement, if people want to be a great people, you people must come together. Have a simple agreement or constitution that will guide you people towards building the nation. Just like one of the interviews of Ojukwu during the 1960 independence. Ojukwu said that he's not interested in celebrating. He's trying to see Nigeria people coming together to move on to a nation building. But people were celebrating independence. They never thought of how they can build the nation, build the economy, develop every for independence that were not fully given to them. And up to today, Nigeria is still going back. Not even a pin, stopping on top of the one left by Britain. And Britain are seeing it. They are happy. Every time non-Fulani enters into power, Britain will never be happy. They are the ones that made sure that Jonathan did not return 2016 with their American president, former American president ally, or Barack Obama, you know. But all the things, that Boko Haram they were using to manipulate the world against Jonathan is fighting worse today. But they are not saying anything. They are happy. But during the time of Jonathan, it comes every international media trying to tell the world that Jonathan is not competent to be Nigerian president. Okay, today they have brought Buhari. The situation gets worse. Economy keep collapsing, not even trying to see if there is a way they can stand, keep collapsing. Today I don't know whether dollar is sold about 600 naira per dollar. Today, cedis is more valuable than naira. Sefa is more valuable than naira. Look at how things are going high, up and down every day. Still, the handlers of Nigeria is not doing anything to take care of the situation. They are happy. They are not thinking about the future. They are not thinking about what their citizen is passing through. They are happy. In a country where thousands of graduates is graduated every year, but no job. Look at what they are doing now, creating Empower, giving graduates 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira. 2 years it will expire. Why? No job. That is why we must come together as the people. Even if it means trying to use another name to separate from Nigeria first, before we can now say, what do we answer? Because I strongly believe that before Ojukwu named the nation Biafra, it convened a meeting for it. So this is why we are saying all this. But in the aspect of Ojukwu and his time, that man really tried very well. I said it the other day. Ojukwu did not go for war. Ojukwu first go for dialogue. When dialogue fell, Ojukwu now decided to take his people away from Nigeria, go one invade Biafra. Ojukwu was on a defensive path. He never throw bomb to any country or any neighboring town. He's only defending the Biafran people, which Gowan and Britain and their allies keep invading us, bombing us, doing all manner of things. Today there's an program I was watching on YouTube where they are saying after the war and when they overthrow Gowan, some group made him a kind of a peace ambassador or something like that. After slaughtering more than 3 million Biafra on a cold blood, just because you want to keep Nigeria one. Okay, go on. Look at what is happening to your people today. Your people now is not the next people, the people that is on table for slaughtering on daily basis. You say that you do not know, that you don't know that Fulani people does not love you. That is why when they want to kill, they will look for a Christian to put at the hem of affairs so that tomorrow they will say, not the Christian, they kill Christian. That is the problem we are having. Everybody keeps pretending I'm not Igbo. Igbo is not the problem. Igbo is just an Igbo a dialect speaking community. It's not the nation. After Biafra, people can still be answering their name, exposing themselves. You can even make a product, give it made in a job or made in Ishekri. There's no problem. All we need is to get our freedom so that we can plan and work for the betterment of our future, of our unborn children. So that is why I say let me call in to air my own contribution this evening. Please, everybody around the world, so far you find yourself inside Biafran territory, identify with a pro-Biafran group that have genuine intention to restore Biafra. Biafran National Alliance is one of them. Biafran customary government have come to stay, and almost 7 to 8 pro-Biafran group is affiliated to it. So I still tell you on my own personal advice, if you have your own group, go with them. They will still accept you, they will still accommodate you, they will still make you grow large so that we can succeed in getting what we are looking for. Our target is just that freedom, not who is the supreme leader or who is that or the other one. It's just to get that freedom for our children. I will drop here, drop our ONYIBE. Thank you very much. And remain blessed.
Thank you so much, my brother Onwokwe Wanze. The truth cannot be overemphasized, we already know. But sometimes we're finding it difficult to accept this truth. But do we really have a choice? We don't. Dem Chukwemeko Odimegu made it clear. We have done so many things. We have tried to live in the Nigerian state. We have fought war, killed many of our people. In this British United Kingdom designed country, it's not working. Perhaps we need to revisit the foundation of our problem. And what are the foundational problems that need to be visited? We've looked at it on 2 different stages. And I think there is need for Biafrans across the globe to begin to work earnestly towards the restoration of a holistic Biafra. There are things that need to be said. We have to see them. There are things that need to be done. We need to do them. There are places to go. Somebody have to go for us. There are sacrifices that must be made. We should get our heart prepared and very ready to take such agenda. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening from here. You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening to our brothers and sisters, Biafrans, and the world at large for this great evening prayer resetting for our misguided brothers and sisters who are hell-bent on inflicting damage on their own people, on their own brothers and sisters, on their own father, mother, cousin.
Of course, that is a technical issue, but we will see what we can do about it. Our people must get ready. Our people must be sincere to themselves. Our people must remain focused. Our people must be determined. Our people must get ready to go home. It is Biafra or Biafra. There's no two ways about that. And as we sojourn, as we review, look into ways through which we can restore Biafra, we need to keep our fingers crossed. We need to be ready for the inevitable. And like I said, the lines are still open and you are free to call in and make your contributions. This is still Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio, and of course we are dedicated to ensuring that Biafra is restored in one piece. It cannot be betrayed, though the image is tainted, but we'll do something about that. Call on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Call on WhatsApp.
Yes,
Good evening from here.
Yes, my name is Chukwu Okoli. I am from Nnewi, the American Mobilization Administrator. I've said, all these things is something that you keep bringing to the hearing of our people. But you know what happens to our people? They have 2 ears. It goes in, it goes out. It goes in, it goes out. Till something seriously happens to them or their loved ones, then they will start remembering, the ONYIBE did say this in his broadcast the other day, but I wasn't paying attention. That's what we was telling our people when all these militias are being set up in our land. We're telling our people, this is not the right way to go. This is not the right way to go. Today, our people are dying like chicken. And if it haven't touched you, you wouldn't know what is going on. But when it come across you, then you will remember on Biafran Human Rights Radio, there was a special program that was done on this platform. You did it. Odo again, I did it. Uchembefo did it. All these things are done round table. But I see what is going on in our land today. People are get fed up of it, and what would they do? And we tell them to listen to the radio so that they can mobilize themselves, so that they will look around themselves and see these people that are causing all the menace. All of them are living within us. They're not strangers. But when you tell them people, they tell you, Hausa, Fulani, Boko Haram, this. No, it's our people that are doing it. The people that we are fighting is no more in our land. It's the people that are causing all these things is people in our land. They destroy the properties in our land. They chase our way all our people that not to be coming home. When Bakassi came in place, they were saying, okay, all of a sudden, they're using it to, victimize our people. As this thing is going on today, we tell our people, this is what is happening, this is what is happening. But they keep their fear. I think we have to work with our God. If it doesn't happen to their family members, they will be hailing them. Today, in Biafra land, mostly upland, is already hitting their pockets. Everybody is crying, no business. Number 1 day of business in our region. But we don't have much to tell our people. All I come in this evening to tell our people is this. If you are within the Americans and you want to towards the restoration project, you can reach us on 91346-5419, 917-346-5419. For people who are really serious in what we are doing. If you're not serious and you want to gossip, you don't need to call this number. You can also send a message via WhatsApp to that number. Or you can visit our website, biafrangov.org, biafrangov.org, or biafrannationsalliance.com. Or you can send an email to biaffoundation@gmail.com or allbiafrans@gmail.com. You can also, as well, make your charitable donation for our relay station that are upcoming very soon. You can go to BIA67foundation@gmail.com. BIA67foundation@gmail.com, and it's a tax deductible, website if you're living in the Americans. But I don't have much to say, and I will say we go nowhere. We're gonna keep, preaching this gospel to guest looks and corners of Biafra land. I say once again,
Almost Hill Biafra. Thank you very much. That is the voice of our brother Mazen Mbadiki, responsible for the mobilization of America continent. Thank you for joining me this evening. We continue to tell our people the truth. We understand, having been in this very condition for a very long time, having been fed with malicious lies, deceit, among others. If you wake up on time, it's a miracle. Call on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. Go ahead, please.
So, good evening to every brothers and sisters, and everyone listening. And I will extend the greetings also to our fathers, Mazi Obido Bienu, Dr. Kado, Mazi Uka from Ushe. Well, so I thank each and every one of you for your tremendous effort. I will also seize this opportunity to thank our brother Okumpo, our brother Mbadike, Daike, Dr. Zurumba, and the rest, for these men who came out and stood against evil going on in our land. So I must encourage them to keep it on and never relent, because the truth is already unraveling itself. It does not need a force. So I encourage them to keep it up, and God will bless them for their tremendous work in order to stop this brainwash of Nnamdi Kanu and IPONK killing our brothers and sisters, destroying people's property. Because people must know one thing, that whatever that is going on right now in Southeast is not Ndibo that is doing it, and it is not our culture or what we stand as a people. It's never our heritage. We never have such a behavior as a people, that we insult anyone that have a different opinion or different views or perspective from the way we see things. Then we start to insult the people, even go ahead to kill and eat human being, eating flesh, cannibalism. This is not we also stand as a people and as Igbo people. Because when I say Igbo people, we know why, because like from the Nigerian perspective, we are all Igbo people, right? Because there's only 3 tribes in Nigeria, ethnic group in Nigeria, because tribe separates or makes it broader, but ethnic they try to reduce it. Different tribes, competent members that make up the nation. So that's what I'm trying to say. So that is not us as a people and what we stand for. It is never in our culture to eat human being. It is never in our culture to kill anybody that has a different opinion from our own. Then we'll go and kill the person. We don't even insult people for having another opinion or even seeing things from our own perspective. We don't insult them, rather we go for superior logic at the end of the day. But what do we see in this 21st century? We see some of our misguided brothers and sisters. Once you speak against their evil, they go after you. They go not after you, actually they go after those that are weak. that can't defend themselves, they go after them. But those who can defend themselves, they don't try such nonsense with them. So the world must know that this is not what we stand or represent as a people. We as Igbo people, we are cultured. Are cultured people. When I mean Igbo, all competent members are both from South East and South South. That's what I'm trying to say. So people don't misquote us one way. So I'm saying this from Nigeria. So the world must know this is not who we are as a people. We are very respectful people. We produce a lot of people, strong men in the society and the world at large. So they must know that. Secondly, I want our brothers and sisters to differentiate what is going on. Whether I call it expatiate or differentiate, whatever name you're gonna use to separate it, this evil going on all in the name of Biafra. Know that whatever Punk is doing, it was never for all in the name of Biafra. It is for Kenny Okukano private business and his family business actually that they are promoting. So know that this has nothing to do with Igbo. Now part of the kind of private business that this guy trying to protect. They don't even know deceive taking that or fighting for both people, not knowing that they are someone's private business. And should I say surprised that at this moment in time that Father Mbaka waiting for him to come out and condemn the atrocities his spiritual son. That's what he called them, because he said the Mahmoud Kanu is his spiritual son. I'm still waiting for him to come out and condemn the atrocity his spiritual sons are doing, and he's silent. He see no evil now. See no evil. He say no evil. But we are at least we are knowing the good and bad people in our midst and within our territory who proclaim to be saints. At this moment in time, what do the Igbo Congress? We don't have to. They are not Igbo people, please. Those guys in United States, what in the Igbo Congress? They are not Igbo. So those guys, they supported this criminality going on in our land. Now they've seen that it was a fraud, that they were scammed. I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because those guys are a bunch of opportunists. To be sincere with you, sir, those guys are a bunch of opportunists, because their predecessor, this criminal approached them and they saw who he was as a person. They declined that reason for him to get arms. They saw him. And instead of this guy, because he promised them Eloha, he was going to give them BIAFRA ONYIBE in 2020, they supported him financially, openly, and condemned those speaking against this evil. And now today, the result is manifesting. There is destruction. In fact, there is insecurity in our land. There is degeneration in our society, as in Southeast currently. There is total degeneration. Everybody is running from everybody. No one knows who is who again. Not that we don't know these criminals. We know these criminals. We know where they come from. We know them. But because they have some corrupt politicians who are siding these guys, hiding them, and we still have some in the Nigeria police and other formations giving them cover to commit this atrocity, and our leaders are not saying anything. The ones that are hitting them hard, trying to stop this evil. You see another bunch of criminal politicians go trying to gag those guys up. Somebody like Udevu Mahe, somebody like Hope Uzadema, somebody like Mwike, somebody like Okoa. These were the governors that matched this evil. Okowa stopped the evil from happening in his own state. Muke stopped it. Dave Umahi have stopped it also. Then we hope to minimize currently on that. At least it has reduced to an extent. Now it is happening in Enugu and Anambra state now mostly. I have some criminal politicians say you have to stop Ibubagu is killing our people in Ebonyi state. Meanwhile, you know these guys are totally doing a very good job because you want to win the election, you have to endanger the life of our people. Where on earth do we see people politicize security? We don't politicize security.
And of course, the same network issue. Sometimes it is like that. And of course, on this note, we will draw the curtain for this evening segment. My apology to those that cannot accept their call this moment, and appreciation to those of you who were able to call in and make your contribution. Tomorrow is another day. We continue from where we stop. Do not forget, the ultimate solution to the challenge we face as a people is the restoration of Biafra. That is it. And so tomorrow we continue. You don't have to hide, you don't have to run. You just need to identify with a pro-Biafran group you believe in their ideology. And that is the way to go. Good night from here, and God bless.
Championing the cause for the restoration of BIAFRA.